And the Lord said,
Brewheads!
What's up, everybody? I'm Big Mike.
And I am Brando.
And this is Brewheads.
You fucking right.
And today,
Yeah.
we are here with Joe from Hanging Hills.
Hi.
Past, present, future.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've chilled, hung out. I think it was the last anniversary that you guys had.
Really? Was it that long?
It was that long.
No,
Actually,
for me it was.
Were you guys at Barrel Death?
I was. I was the
You
only
were.
one that made it. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have the video evidence to
You
prove it.
Suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the three of us, I suck the middle.
Like, I mean, in all fairness, Clinton never comes to anything. So, like, when he does show up, it's like, oh, Clinton!
Holy cow!
Holy cow, you're not dead.
Yeah, you're alive. Probably gotta leave. There he goes. Shut up, Siri.
But yeah, so, Phoenix, almost like
A little bit.
Hanging Hills is.
A little bit.
Yeah.
More like a, like a very small Phoenix.
Some embers.
Definitely, so we had some embers. I'm like fluttering in the embers, trying to make something happen over here. But yeah, I like that analogy. People like hearing about comeback stories.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's harder to live through a comeback story than it is to hear about a comeback story.
Yeah. It's always better to watch it. So much better.
Because in the movie, it's 2 hours, but in real life, it's like a week goes by and you've sold 10 cases, and you're like, well, I thought this was my comeback story.
Yeah.
This is my fight song.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a lot. It's actually, it's funny doing this because so I've been working hand in hand with my distributor the last couple of months, and going into like literally 300 accounts across the state. Not essentially just like, hey, how's it going? Yes, we went out of business. Yes, that was March of last year. Yes, I'm still open.
Yeah.
But let me tell you about these awesome beers that we're putting out.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that across the state for like the last 6 or 7 months. And I've slowly watched, like every single month, our sales numbers go up. And one thing that I was very blessed to have was a really solid reputation prior to closure.
Oh, yeah.
And people recognize Hanging Hills as putting out some high quality beers. And so that allowed me to get my foot back in the door. Even if they're slamming the fucking door and trying to break my foot. They at least didn't shoot me as I was trying to get through the door. But it's been a really awesome experience watching people welcome us back in a pretty inviting way. So
Yeah, I think we were excited to start seeing beers again.
Yes. Because, where I go harvest, of course, wines with Ian.
yeah.
Yep. I was super excited when I saw Hanging Hills back on there. It was like,
With new packaging.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they were really good. So Harvest has always been really good to us. Between the two stores, they used to have 3, now it's the 2 stores. And Ian was one of the first people who did business with Hanging Hills. So, like, thanks, Ian. Thank you. And I know you're listening, Ian. You're a
Always.
devoted fan
Yes.
of the Brewheads. No, but he and I actually have been talking this week because I just put out a new beer, which we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
And his store on New Britain Ave, the Harbor store on New Britain, is the only one carrying the beer today. Next week
Nice.
is statewide. But I did Ian a little square.
Yeah.
Okay.
Try to make it up to him for being so nice to me the last couple of months, last year and a half or so, by offering him essentially a one-shot opportunity to sell this new double IPA, which we'll talk about more later.
Very cool.
Nice.
So cool that you guys are seeking out Hanging Hills beers still.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So what was the first one you bought?
The first new one you came out with,
Halamata?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
convenient.
think it.
That was the first one.
Yeah, actually, I didn't. That wasn't the first one I bought.
Yeah.
I had it at a restaurant. The first one. I just forget which one it was.
Okay.
But I had it at a restaurant.
Was it Dragonaut Oatmeal Stout?
No, it was.
Oh, it was Halamata.
It was this. Yeah.
Let me say it into the mic. Halamanta.
I honestly, until you just said it, I didn't know how to say it.
Yeah,
Actually,
So I
yeah.
just went in and I was like,
I didn't know
all
how to
right.
say
Which is
it.
really funny because no one says jalapeno,
Right.
but they do say jalamonta. And I'm like, you know how to say jalapeno? Why can't you say jalamonta?
Halamanta.
Halamanta. So anyways, I brought some new halamanta for you guys and for me.
Let's crack
So
it.
while we're pouring this, and tell us a little bit about this one.
About this
The
beer.
Inception.
Yeah. So I smoke weed. Don't tell anybody. And so I do, and I enjoy it. And it's actually been, I've only been smoking weed for about 2.5 years now. But because I do, I found myself opening up to all types of music that I never used to listen to before.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that I missed out on. And I came across this band called Caius, who are a late 90s stoner rock, stoner metal band. And their guitarist is this dude, Brant Bjork, who is like, I mean, he's so fucking cool. He's got this like long, curly, like Howard Stern type hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wears a bandana around his head, so it's like kept tight, and he's got this sweet goatee. And he just looks like a fucking badass. Like, he looks like he shows up to your house in a Chevelle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he drives a really fucking cool car. And so I got more into his music.
Yeah.
And he's got this record, this Halamanta record, that I got really, really into. And I listened to it exclusively as I was trying to come up with a plan to rebuild the company back.
Yep.
And as it turns out, Halamanta takes its name from this book about this guy who goes through a spiritual journey trying to figure out his life.
Okay.
And I was like, well, fuck, man. If that doesn't, if that doesn't make the most sense I've ever heard.
I know a guy like that.
And so I wanted to make a beer that had terpene-like notes. I wanted something that reminded people of weed.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to connect. And if you look, I mean, there's like all this cool like Day of the Dead type artwork.
Oh, yeah.
There's we got the eye in the
Little
hand over there.
psychedelic kind of stuff going on.
So I worked with this dude Brian Steely, and he's this incredible designer out of Atlanta, Georgia, who's done work for Fish, My Morning Jacket, for the Newport Folk Festival, which is a really hard 3 words in a row to say. Newport Folk.
Newport folk.
Yes, you want to say pork. You want to say pork?
I feel like I'm saying it, but I'm foreign.
Yes. It's like you're saying something in English with like you're Belky.
Oh, Balky Batukamas, but yeah.
So I talked to him and I was like, hey, Brian, like, I have this idea for a beer. I want it to be affordably priced, but I want it to be like the most incredible affordably priced beer possible. So the goal of this beer is that it's $10.99 on the shelf no matter where it is for a 4-pack of 60-ounce cans. But I also want it to be like, I want people to look at that can and be like, dude, I would stare at that can for like a half hour. I would smoke a J and stare at that can for a half hour. And that's sort of exactly what I got out of it. Like, Brian killed it. Like, and he also redid our logo, so you can see we've made the dog a little more vicious. The dog is always on our cans.
Yeah.
We worked really well together. If you guys, I don't know if you guys are motorcycle fans, but you'll notice in the logo there's a little bit of like a little lip there.
Yeah.
That's
the tire and the fender.
That's an Indian, the motorcycle, a front fender on a tire and a tire. So I took a picture and I sent it to him like, turn this into my logo. I want this Indian, because I think like, no offense to the Harley fans out there, but I'm a bigger fan of the Indians. I think the sound is prettier and just more
I think buying an Indian motorcycle means you like to ride motorcycles.
Yes.
I think buying a Harley, like, I feel people think there's a level of muscle and badass that comes with it.
I think they buy Harleys to let other people know they ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When you're riding an Indian motorcycle, you're driving because you like to.
Yeah.
Not because you want everybody else to know.
And they're also more comfortable usually. And
Yeah.
what do they used to call Harleys? Like a shovel on wheels or something like that?
What did I used to say? All show, no go.
Well, I've heard people describe me that way before, so I won't make fun of Harleys too much. So getting back to Halamanta, I wanted this readily available, democratically priced IPA. I wanted it to taste like weed, but I also wanted it to be fruity. I wanted it to be accessible and attractive in a can.
Yep.
And so we came up with this concept. I wrote this recipe knowing that every batch I brewed, I was going to tweak the hops a little bit.
Okay.
Because I'm looking for something. Like, I wasn't 100% sure what flavors I was trying to express. I had an idea. But like with all raw materials, hops are very expensive and kind of fluctuating. And so I had to be careful if I was trying to set a price point that was accessible to people, that the hops didn't go above and beyond cost. And so in this last batch, this is batch number 7 this year. We brewed this beer first time January 21st. And we've since put out 7 batches, which I'm real proud of because I was dead in the water last year.
Right.
Yeah.
We put out 7 batches of this beer, and the 7th batch, I'm 99.5% sure that the hop blend, which is Sabro and Citra and a little tiny bit of Amarillo, are here to stay.
Okay.
I picked out the Sabro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did.
I did not pick out the Sabro.
I am very coconut sensitive.
He is very coconut sensitive. That's why he picked out the Sabro. I did pick out a little bit of the Citra.
Yeah.
This seems a little bit more fruitier than the first time that I had it.
For sure. So thank you for pointing that out. The first couple of batches, I was leaning heavy towards the terpene side of weed. And so you got a lot more pine, and a lot more grapefruit rind. And that was, I blended Sultana, which used to be called Denali, with Waimea hops. A little bit of Chinook in the first one, and then we took that out immediately. And then Nugget as well in the Whirlpool. Nugget's still here, as a matter of fact, because I'm actually a big fan of that hop. And every batch we either raised or lowered the Waimea, or we would, get rid of the Chinook, or maybe like the 4th or 5th batch we introduced Amarillo, and then like the 6th batch we're like, all right, fine, let's do Sultana, Citra, and Amarillo. And then every single time there was like this strong pininess.
Yep.
And I loved it. I could understand why it would not be immediately accessible.
Yeah.
And it's funny because one of the most popular beers in Connecticut right now is the Fiddleheads IPA, which is
piney.
It is.
Yeah.
To me,
there's a pine tree in there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to me, it just it and it's one of my favorite IPAs. So I don't mean to make this sound bad, but it just reeks of Columbus hops, which are very old school.
Yeah.
They're bitter, they're piney, and they're resiny.
Yep.
And I knew that people were trusting Fiddlehead with that flavor, and they weren't trusting me with that flavor because of what had happened last year. And so I needed to give them something that they were willing to drink with this beer. And so hence the shift completely away from that piney grapefruit rind to much more fruity, suggestive of like a really nice purple haze strain of weed, but like more suggestive than on the nose.
I love the piney.
I know. Me too.
Yeah,
you guys are the best beer drinkers I know. As long as it's well crafted, you guys will drink it.
Right.
That's sort of your rule of thumb.
Yeah.
And you're the worst customers ever. There's no targeting you guys.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
It's like, I put beer in a can. You're like, oh, good, I'll drink it.
I hate when he's right like that.
He's so right.
I just pinpointed you guys.
No, you guys are my favorite customers.
We've had beers where we don't really like, our palates don't like the beer.
Right.
It's not a bad beer. Our palates don't like it. But it is so well done and well crafted.
Yeah.
You drink the 4-pack.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're like, fuck it. Like, this was well done.
Right.
You could tell that someone was like, calculating in their head, dreaming about this beer, and it came out as they wanted it, and it was good. Just not your beer.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm not pouring this one. No.
I think that's and it's one of the reasons that I really enjoy being around you guys is that whenever we put out a new beer, you guys showed up, and you always tried whatever it was, even if I knew for a fact that Clayton wasn't gonna like it.
Like, I feel there were times when you guys were up there just like, he's gonna fucking hate me. Like, woo!
I'm probably not gonna drink this whole one, guys.
That's okay.
It's all good.
Because
you do have to drive.
I do have to drive, and we have another double IPA to drink too.
Oh yeah.
Are we recording again?
Yes. For full disclosure, I'm going to drink this fucking beer. It has been, I think this and Irregular are the beers I've had. I haven't had the longest.
Yeah. Well, Regular's coming back in December.
Nice.
I'm also canning for the first time ever Heart Beast.
Ooh.
Oh,
That was
the
such
triple.
a good beer.
Yeah, so let me tell you a little something about this next Heart Beast that's coming out while we pour Heartbeat here, which this is your guys' jam.
Oh, yeah. I've put so many people onto this beer.
Well, thank
Do
you.
you remember when we were in Harvest?
Yes.
For some reason, we went to Harvest and we brought a camera. And we went in.
Yeah, we were
just
doing
started
a little-
filming
yeah,
in
we
the
were doing
video
a little-
in
yeah.
the beer cave.
Yeah.
Fuck it, just see what happens.
Yeah.
So there were like 5 or 6 people that all came in while we're filming and just were grabbing cans of Heartbeat,
Oh, wow.
like 4-packs, and
That's
we were just
incredible.
like talking and talking, like, yeah, that's right. And kept going back.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Oh,
You guys are wonderful. We, You know what's crazy about this beer? And don't tell anybody this. This is between us three.
no one's listening.
No one's... That might actually be true.
That's what I'm. You like honesty, so do we.
So the Heartbeat has always had bittering additions added to it. One of my favorite breweries in America is this brewery out of Seattle called Cloudburst Brewing. His dude who is the owner, brewer operator there is this dude Steve Luke, who he and I have this personal connection. He was 2 brewers ahead of me at Cambridge House when I took over the head brewer job at Cambridge House.
Oh, no
And
kidding.
Granby.
In Granby. He's a huge proponent. He makes hazies just like everyone does.
Yep.
Of layering hop additions. And that doesn't necessarily mean, you're adding 70 IBUs, 80 IBUs, like the hops arms race that existed in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
His belief, and I didn't realize it was a philosophy until I was talking to him about it, but was that by layering these additions, you're creating more flavor potential. And so, like, you're making places where the hops can interact with each other, where the yeast can interact with flavors, where you get this dynamicism that happens in the beer. And I was like, well, fuck, man, I've been doing that for a long time, and I think you are A-okay on that. Like, you are absolutely correct, because we believed, when 150 Ledyard was open, we believed that all IPAs should have bittering additions. With that said, the current trend is at most Whirlpool. Mm-hmm. People are doing 0 boils, which is wild to me. They'll get the wort up to 170 degrees. Whirlpool hops in there for 20 minutes and then send it to the fermenter, which is a way to make beer. Doesn't necessarily lead to shelf stability, but I tell you, people really enjoy the sweetness of it. So can I talk up this beer real quick?
Do it. Do it.
So,
And while we pour, Joe's going to talk it up.
so this is fresh off the line.
Okay.
Freshie.
Super fresh off the line. This is an 8.8% double IPA that is a new series of beers for Hanging Hills called
Yes.
When the Drums Kick In.
You've been promoting it.
Hold on.
I've been noticing it. Yeah.
Tyson. Still got it.
Still got it.
Still got it!
Oh. The most satisfying knockout of a white man I've ever seen in my life. It was the best part of a movie I've ever.
Side note, I once saw a black dude in Seattle punch a Nazi.
Oh.
So hard.
Oh. Is that where this came from? Is that where this came from?
Dude went to the... Boom! And then the black dude was like... And it was over.
Oh, there was
Yeah,
a head
yeah.
nod.
He just nodded
There
at
was
it.
a
Yeah,
head
you
nod.
got a head
Oh.
nod. When you get that effect, you got a head
But
nod.
he wasn't even just like a TV Nazi or like a social media Nazi. He had like a little armband with the swastika.
Yeah.
So like he was like next level. And so when I was like, you know what? Punch that motherfucker. And he did. He did. He fucking knocked him out.
As a fellow white man, we do not claim him. We are pushing him off to... Oh, God.
No, I think we got to claim him. That's the problem. Is we got to claim all the white people.
We do. We'll claim him.
We'll
I'll claim
claim
him. I will take I'd say I'd punch him. We know I don't punch very well.
No, you don't. You do not punch
I
very
punch
well.
horribly.
Yeah.
We'll
But-
tell you after.
So that was not the basis of this beer.
So, this is
Okay. So this is a
Into
freshie.
the air tonight.
In the air tonight. So the basis for this whole series was a conversation that Barry and I had. He's the owner at Ken Falls.
Yep.
And I said to him, "Hey, wouldn't it be really funny if how like hops are like incredible and like they like sometimes you drink them and I drink a beer with like a really pronounced hop bite and it like makes you feel like you got punched. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if we named one after the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight"? And he was like, "Haha, no." And I was like, "Barry, that's not the response I was looking for." And he's like, he just laughed.
I love Phil Collins.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Dude. Okay. I will say I don't think he is like an amazing drummer,
I think he is.
but he comes up with amazing drum beats.
I don't know, but in Genesis, like he's like a really good drummer. Like he's a drummer's drummer in Genesis.
Okay.
But in his pop career, he was just writing pop songs,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
that's sort of the rub.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, at Hanging Hills, we never brewed a beer with Nelson Sauvin. Never.
Seriously?
The Australian New Zealand hop?
New Zealand hop from Marlboro, like
I
we.
thought you did
It's
that
Nelson.
with the rotating series that you guys did.
So is this
never
Hanging
did it.
Hills
No?
version of Unicorn Farm?
Maybe
I'm just
you're making an analog.
yes.
I've not had that beer, but I imagine that one's
It's
got.
all Nelson said.
Yeah, it's all Nelson stuff.
So it sure. I've not had it, although Becky only makes good beer, so I'm sure it's amazing. But this was my attempt at brewing a beer that was so good that it felt like when the drums kick in on In the Air Tonight.
Okay.
That is a feeling.
That is
That is a feeling.
like the whole scene.
Yeah.
Like, the person's drowning. We're supposed to forget that the person's drowning.
Right,
I
right,
saw him with my
right.
own two eyes.
Yeah.
But then the drums kick in and you fucking forgot.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, somebody died?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah. When those drums oh my god.
It's like a hardcore
Yeah.
fucking drum beat. So this is,
It smells
it does.
fucking amazing.
It's like
oh my god.
if you were able to take Slipknot and put them into a pop song, that would be Phil
I
Collins.
think you nailed it.
Yeah.
think you nailed it.
Yeah, that would.
All right.
Ooh.
It's good,
You know what's
right?
funny?
Ooh.
You know what?
It's good,
This
right?
beer, there's a point where, you, like at the beginning, you don't notice that it is a very expensive New Zealand hop.
Oh,
Third sip in,
I'm interested about this.
you now know
It
it is a very expensive
has a-
New Zealand hop.
the very first sip has that normal like New England
Double
IPA, you know, but then
Yep.
in the back end,
Yeah. It
It's-
creeps along.
yeah, it's like ooh,
Yeah, it creeps along.
That's my premise of that Slipknot video. Of halfway, I'll show it to you later. And you're gonna be like, "Yeah, boy, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know beats, you know stuff."
I do like me some music, and so that was the point of this beer is that like I like every brewery, like even like back. So we keep talking about back east, but I'll bring it on again. Those guys make beers that are associated with music all the time,
Yes.
and so it's not like a wild hair up my ass. Like we're creative people, and we are influenced by other creative things. And so I was thinking like this Phil Collins song, which is like kind of cheesy. Like if you hear it the first time, it's like
If you hear it now,
yeah. If you
Yeah.
never heard it
If
when
you
you were
never
like
heard it,
our
yeah,
when we were
right,
kids,
right.
we were
Oh
kids.
my god.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like and you heard it like in like you had a cool uncle who had like a sweet like Z28 Cavalier.
Yeah.
with a good sound system in it.
Or a Z36, what is that, Lumina?
But like with a good sound system,
Yeah.
and he puts it in, and it's like the fucking compact disc player
Yeah, dude.
that sucks it in, and then you're like, "What? This is immersive."
Yeah.
And so I wanted to recreate that in a beer. That experience of when I was a kid, being fully immersed in something, and that song is fully immersive.
Oh yeah. No, it is.
Yeah.
And this beer is 8.8%. It is a big beer.
It is, but the malt backbone is absolutely, I don't want to say shadowed, but I will say shadowed because I think Nelson Sauvin is such an amazing hop.
It really is.
It shadows the malt character, but it's still there. It doesn't wipe it away,
Right.
but it's there.
The thing with Nelson to me is that it's like it is one of those hops you don't need to add any other hops to.
Right.
Very true.
And there are very few hops that, like Citra, obviously has been around for a while, and Sabro is like the new hot, and then HBC 530. I think it's HBC 538. But that's the one people are going nuts over now. I think that Nelson, in my opinion, is the best hop that anyone's ever grown. In terms of
Singular hops in a beer.
singular hops, now, like I love me some Saaz, but I'm talking about purely for IPA reasons.
Yep.
I love me some German hops. I love me some Czech hops. I love American-grown Willamette. I love Cascade. Don't get me wrong. All those hops are singularly great for their own experiences. But in terms of New England IPA, no hop completely blends itself in as well as Nelson Sauvin.
Agreed.
And it, to me, the reason why Nelson's so great is because it, like you guys were talking about, hits you immediately with the fruit.
Yeah.
Typical New England IPA.
Yeah.
So you won't be disappointed,
Right.
If you're expecting like New England fruitiness. But then there's this wild character that slowly teases out, and you start getting like overripe pineapple.
Yeah.
Like canned pineapple, how it's kind of syrupy.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And then you get like this like crazy green mango, like unripe mango, but in a good way. And then almost to the point where like I know this is gonna sound bad, but like overripe banana, like banana that's gonna go bad.
Yeah.
No, you do get a
It tastes like
the hang of it. You get this banana-y.
But all of those flavors combined with the New England green hop qualities that you would expect with New England IPA, to me, it is the most immersive hop that you're gonna experience as far for this style of beer.
Yeah.
To me, it blows Citra out of the water. It blows Mosaic out of the water. You have to add 6 to 7 hops together to get what one hop can do.
Very true.
Which is what makes Nelson Sauvin
amazing. The flavor profile of this beer is exactly that. The fruit flavors that you get between the
it's layered
drinking and then
Yep.
the flavor dissipating and the notes that you get. Wow,
it's fun.
The flavors
Yeah.
dissipating.
It's like fun because you're like, I thought I was done.
You're picking out right. Every sip has its own little treat.
It's like when you go to get a massage and you think that you're done with each level of massage, and then they come back with a new massage.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wait, I thought you just did the surface before. Now we're doing deep tissue. Yeah. Now we're gonna do some shiatsu. That's what this is.
Not at all where I thought we were going. I'm so happy.
All right, everybody. So thanks to Joe for coming out and
bringing
the new
lots of beers.
When the drums kick, make sure you grab it at your local packing.
All across Connecticut. Yep. Right now, it's available at Harvest Wine and Spirits in West Hartford. At the time of this video coming out, it may be available all across.
Yeah, it should be available by the time the video come out or in the coming days.
We have to say, damn.
Yeah.
Let's Nelson Sauvin the shit out of that one.
Damn good beer.
Damn good beer.
Make sure you grab it. So, as always,
drink responsibly, stay wildly. Check out your Hanging Hills at your local establishment.
Deuces.
Deuces.